drag paradiddle number 1 and the drag paradiddle number 2. Remember the lesson 25? Well, these rudiments are very similar to the lesson 25. For the drag paradiddle number 1, we're just going to add a double on the end of the lesson 25. So lesson 25 is 1 E and a 2. Right where I had that right hand, I'm going to put a double right, 1 E. And then it'll alternate. That is your drag paradiddle number 1. Now it's in a triple meter. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Another way to think of it, it's a double paradiddle, but we're putting a diddle on the second note of the double paradiddle. That's probably the way I think of it most often. So it's in 6/8. I'll play 2 double paradiddles and then 2 drag paradiddle number 1. Quite simple. So the upstroke is in the same place. It's the same exact motion. We're just throwing in a diddle on the second note of the rudiment. Now the drag paradiddle number 2 is like a triple paradiddle. It's the same thing as a triple paradiddle, but we're going to diddle the second and the fourth note of the rudiment. So I'll play 2 triple paradiddles and then 2 drag paradiddles number 2s. Okay, that is the original form of both of these rudiments. We can put other accents in both of them. So in the drag paradiddle number 1, let's try to put 2 accents on the first and third notes of the rudiment. And on the drag paradiddle number 2, we're going to put it on the first, third, and fifth notes of the rudiment. So it goes like this. Another way to play the drag paradiddle number 1, or another variation of the accents, is put an accent on the first and the fourth note of the rudiment. So I'm going to play 2 drag paradiddle number 1s in their original form and then add that accent on the fourth note. That's one of my favorite ways to play that rudiment. So I'm going to play a little faster so you can see how it swings a little bit. Once again, with all the drag rudiments, you can interpret the diddle in different ways. Here's what we would call maybe an ancient interpretation, where we kind of squeeze the grace notes together a little more. That's just another interpretation. You can widen them up a little bit. Let me play it where I'm gonna, what we're calling slurring the diddles, or opening them up. So none of those interpretations are wrong. They're just all different. There's different interpretations for different styles of music. It depends on how you're feeling at the moment, maybe. So try it in different varieties, different interpretations, different accents. Be creative. Once again, start out with the original rudiment and go somewhere with it. All right, here's an exercise utilizing the drag paradiddle number 1 and the drag paradiddle number 2. I'm going to play a drag paradiddle number 2, actually 2 of them, in 4/4 for the first measure. Second measure is going to be 2 drag paradiddle number 1s, and then I have 1 count left over. I'm going to throw in a rudiment there. So maybe a 9-stroke roll, a 7-stroke roll, 6-stroke roll, Swiss Army triplets. See, what else could we? A lesson 25, maybe a drag-a-diddle. So just take a rudiment and throw it in there. Be creative, improvise on count 4. You can even mess around with the accents in the first part of the exercise as well. So you see, rudiments don't have to be boring. In fact, they're not boring at all. It's all your creativity. Have fun with them. The more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the more you enjoy it. The more you enjoy it, the more you're going to practice. So find some fun ways to practice, whether it's being creative and coming up with your own patterns, or it's playing along with tracks, like in my book, Dr. Throwdown's Rudimental Remedies, or the tracks on this website. There's lots of ways. Be creative and have fun with your drumming.